Afternoon, folks. Welcome back. It's John Pettipas recording, and right now it's a warm Friday afternoon. Hot child in the city and hot John Pettipas in the country. I'm reading today's Halifax Herald. Scale down ER worries mayor. And the topic of this video is Privatize healthcare. I believe in privatized healthcare. Yes, privatized healthcare. If you're ever going to have an efficiently ran healthcare system, it must be privatized. So again, this is the mayor of Middleton, the beautiful Annapolis Valley, speaking. And Middleton residents don't want to be second-class citizens. The gentleman mentions that they put out, the mayor mentioned, quote, they put on this great campaign, that if they were elected in 2021, and they were elected on Tuesday night, the 17th of August, which is a mere 10 days from today, the first anniversary, they would cure healthcare problems. So let's get on with it. Let's get it done, he said. Now, I believe in free enterprise, and I feel that many of the people working in healthcare are frustrated. Right on true. The folks in the boiler room, hair engineers, janitors, cleaners, laundry, food people, the whole system. Those doctors that walk around with the charts and nurses following behind them, the ones doing the work, the LPNs and the CCAs, there is a frustration in the system. Now, in history, they say all the good generals fought their battles with the crew they had. And there's some truth in that, but I also strongly believe that if people aren't happy in their life, if they don't like what they're doing, and there's nothing like money to make people unhappy. There's nothing like money to make people unhappy. Okay? In fact, a very large number of people that win lotteries commit suicide. It's an awful thing to say. And any of you people with lotteries, be kind and good and generous with your money. That's fine and dandy, and we're proud of you. Actually, I don't know many lottery winners, but very high, well above the national average of suicide is people that have won lotteries. Whether they have money and whatever, they start worrying about it, or can't say no to people, or they get concerned, or maybe they're just not busy enough anymore. There's nothing like idle minds is clay in a devil's hand. I'm going to repeat that. Idle minds is clay in a devil's hand. They take and... So anyway, money should never be our motivating factor in life. I've known people make very little money, and they're very happy what they do. And some people make a lot of money, and they're miserable what they do. And I mentioned this in a video not too long ago. Why do so many doctors become skin surgeons, cosmetic surgery specialist, when general practitioners' role in life is much more interesting? You get from the very young, pregnant mothers, babies, children, fathers, older people, grandparents. You get from cradle to elderly life, from birth to patients from one day old at birth, 1 hour old, to 100 years plus. We have a lot of healthy old people in Nova Scotia. Ones in between are problems. Anyway, in some cases. So we must privatize healthcare. Here it is now. This guy, we have Michelle Thompson, and she's the Minister of Health under Terrible Timothy. Terrible Timothy. Remember Terrible Timothy said? He's not going to be happy that walks down the street and nobody goes up and complains about wait times in emergency rooms or for an ambulance or looking for a doctor, whatever. Well, if that's the case, it's going to be a long time before Terrible Timothy's happy. I can tell you one. Quite some time yet before that bird's going to be happy. Privatize healthcare. Remember the late Charlie Keating said to me, Charles V. Keating. He said, if I go for MRI at a private clinic, I'm not hurting the Canada Health Act, he said. He said, I'm making a space for somebody else. That was a true statement. Okay, and it's very interesting. Okay, it was people don't like hearing the truth sometimes. So you will never Michelle Thompson, that had been nothing but administrator of a small, medium-sized nursing home, and you put her in charge of 45%, the poor woman's buried. I don't personally find she's that happy with what she's doing anyway, but that's a story for another day. Okay, but you're just... I remember back as a kid in the late 60s, early 70s, inflation in the 70s really took hold, and some people said, well, it's a heresy. People shouldn't make money selling groceries for a profit motive. Well, Mother of God! If that was the case, we wouldn't have in-store bakeries or fruit and vegetables out of season in the produce department, or deli meats or deli departments, or cheese counters, or whatever, ethnic foods, you can name it. Okay, can you imagine if government was running the grocery stores? Woo! Be chronic shortages and be like Russia, communist China, one product, that's it. It's like the old gum department store in Russia. They had one type of shoe, one style, and one color. Okay, they have to wait in line when new order came in. So this system is, and before this, up until now, they would have been criticized in the previous Minister of Health and his predecessor. So it's just, you will never get efficiencies that the healthcare system needs in a industry, in a field that there's so much change. They just can't react quick enough. And it's subject to political stuff. We need privatized healthcare in this country, and this is probably my most controversial video yet, but it doesn't fizz me one bit. Shared far and wide, and that's fine. So with that, if you ever want to be satisfied with your healthcare, you must have privatized healthcare system. It's just this system here. In this article, the people in Middleton, lot older people in the county, and they have to go to Digby after 1:30 in the afternoon this summer, late spring in the summer, Digby or Kentville, by ambulance or car, to get even emergency room service. I'm fundamentally opposed to the idea that government thinks they can do something better than private industry. Is private industry perfect? Of course not. But you add the competition element to it. The problem was the government, there's no competition. There was somebody who'll remain nameless. I worked with his wonderful mother, and a guy worked with him at a gypsum mine, said, so-and-so, blank blank, had one way of doing it, that was it. One way of doing it. So with this guy, there'd be a black marker, there'd be no blue marker, a red marker, or regular ballpoint pen, or a highlighter, whatever. If you want to save on the marker, you can use a regular ballpoint pen and a highlighter. There's one way of doing something, that's it. It's the inability to react quickly to change. As simple as that. The inability of a government agency to react quickly to change. With that, I got to go. It's John Pettipas. Wish you all the best. God bless. Please keep yourselves hydrated and check in on your neighbors and bring them a treat, Jell-O or something cool, jug of ice water, whatever. Look after your neighbors and fellow man, as Jesus said in the Bible. With that, I got to go. All the best. God bless. Thank you.